building. This is the Immature Show. Thank you for joining us tonight on another live show. Obviously, we're trying to have a little fun, especially when you're doing these late shows, man. You need a little energy booster. So shout out to Kendrick Lamar. This is definitely one of my favorites from him. His catalog. Definitely support that music that man put out. It's a good vibe. Good vibe. Today we are discussing relationships, and of course, who do we revert to? It is the godfather of relationships, Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace to the late great Kevin Samuels, who has definitely made an impact in this world. I mean, I think he spoke truth. Tonight, he's speaking to a modern woman who talks about how she wants a high-value man, but she's had a history of dealing with toxic men. Therefore, she is currently trying to find out why she can't attract that type of man. So Kevin, of course, advises her. We will react to this video. I haven't seen it before, so we'll react accordingly as it goes along. All right, guys, let's jump right into it.
Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Oh, hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
What do you got for me?
I do want to just comment on, I jumped in at the last minute, but did want to comment on the panel that was happening and so much that's going on today. But I also see, I see feminism like at its height. And two, I see a lot of women, especially Black women recognizing how it's failed all of us and is failing us as a whole in our community. And I'm also kind of proud to say that in my community in Sacramento, I know that I, as well as some of my other female friends and family members, have kind of made a concerted effort to kind of change the narrative and be more deliberate about championing our Black men and just supporting them in business.
Hold on, Summer. Hold on. If you're in the chat room on the call and you have a disagreement, raise your hand, because I want to get to the people who may not be on the same page, and answer some questions, because you said you're 39?
I am, yes.
Any children?
I have 3 children.
Have you ever been married?
I have. I've been divorced now for about 5 years.
You're married to their father?
Yes. Well,
you're in the one out of 4, so at least you can say you were.
Yeah, no, I was.
Right.
I've had a few proposals, but I think I need, as a woman, to educate myself more on, what my own shortcomings are, and more prepare myself to be an actual valuable partner to someone before I'm ready to jump back in there.
Appreciate it. All right. So here's what I need. Here's what I need from you guys. If you're on and you want to get on, if you have a question, you got to kind of get to the point. Oh, this woman's called in before. I've seen you before.
You're one sentence away from launching your website with Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and
wow. All right. If your camera is on, I'm going to the people who have their camera on first. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi. How old are you?
I'm 25. My name is Chelsea.
Okay, what do you got for me?
I guess I just more so have a comment. I've been watching your videos for the past couple weeks, and I know you stress a lot that we should, as women, we should start, what's the word I'm trying to find? We should start aspiring to marriage and working towards being a wife, or trying to, we should actively be pursuing that young. But from my experience, I just find that, and it may be the area that I'm in, a lot of, or from the men that I've come in contact with, that's not what they're on. Like, that's
Are
not
you in
what
college?
Not anymore.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to University of Arkansas.
There are plenty of Black men at University of Arkansas.
I'm not saying it's not eligible bachelors. I just feel like and it could be the dating pool or the people who I'm aspiring to want to be with, that type of man.
So
they're
are
not
you basically,
necessarily.
it almost sounds like you're making an argument that the men aren't ready for marriage?
I feel as though with the
It's
age
not-
group that I'm in, I haven't really come across a lot of
Well,
men that are ready to settle down.
hold on. You're 25?
Yes,
What's the oldest man you've ever dated?
probably like 30.
Right. And you were how old?
I was 24, so this was last year.
So I'm sorry that, first of all, in our community, women want men to be around the same age and making six figures or more. Men start looking to get married after 35. So looking for a man in your 20s, yeah, it makes sense you're not going to find somebody because he's still out here working, trying to become a even able to produce for a wife and kids. So yes, this is why I stress that you ladies got to start being more realistic and putting yourself in a position. Are you still in Arkansas? You muted yourself. Hello? Are you still in
Yes, I'm still in Arkansas. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's going to have and you know, the next question I'm going to ask, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? How many kids do you want to have? All these other things. And Arkansas is one of the worst states in the union. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi are always fighting for the bottom 3 spots. So if you want a successful black man, Arkansas is not necessarily the place to go get them.
Okay.
So I don't know why this is the reality I need you ladies to start understanding. They told you you were sold that these successful men are all over the place, and I left. You can't. There's nothing in Arkansas that's really appealing. And no diss to the people in Arkansas, but you know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
So why are you still there?
I guess
Because it's convenient.
probably comfort. If anything,
Well,
I done got comfortable here.
Guess what? Because you're about 2 years from the danger zone. And I'm sorry. The thought process of, well, the men aren't on my level and the men aren't ready and this and that doesn't matter when time is run out. You ladies are going to have to put yourself in the position and go to places and areas where the kind of men you want are. If you want a different outcome. If you don't, then it is what it is. The halls of whatever, your numbers, your microphone's not on. Unmute yourself. Miss something or other.
Hey, Uncle Kev, how are you?
Hello. Do you have a disagreement?
I have more like an addition because I don't want to credit everything. I believe in the fact of
Well, how old are you, by the way?
27.
Okay. Go ahead. Hello? What happened to you? She muted herself. All right, so here's what I need. I need the people who have questions or disagreements to pop up because we can't just have the same, hey, I agree. Here's the problem. Many of you ladies, even the ones that do agree, you're still not willing to do what it takes to make yourself viable for your outcomes. Meaning, like I spoke with the previous caller, when you're in Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Oklahoma, these places are not overrunning with, rich, successful men. You're going to get guys making $15, $20 an hour. That's good. The median income for a black man in this country is $42,000. That's what 50% are going to make. So if you want something that's going to be higher, so she's supposed to leave. Let me go ahead and get you on here. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Candy, seeing as though you don't seem to understand the point.
Making how-to videos used to take me hours. I'd record, mess up, start over, and edit forever until I finally said enough. So I tried a few tools, and Guide was by far.
Unmute yourself. What's your question?
Good evening.
Hello. What was the question that you typed?
No, you were saying something that they have only people who make $10.
What was the question that you typed?
I said, so is she supposed to leave because she have to leave to go find a man because there's
Okay,
no
where are you
men
from?
here for
Okay,
her?
hold on. Okay. Where are you at?
I'm in New York.
Yeah, you've called in my show before, right?
One time before.
Right. Understand something. You don't have to do anything. No one has to do anything. But you cannot make something be what it's not. If you want a man who's earning more, you cannot be in a poor state.
I agree.
So why is that? Well, why did that seem to trigger you ladies when you hear that you have to do something? Sometime, little girls. Seems to trigger you ladies. And see, the funny thing is, let me go ahead and speak on that too. Far too many of you young sisters, man, y'all are too immature. Like I had that one person that was on Instagram the other day. It's time for you ladies to grow up. Go back to the second broadcast I put in, and the sister in the white said, my mother was married at 23. You're supposed to be a grown ass woman at 20, 23, 25. Women were having children and becoming wives. And y'all, too many of you act like teenagers, still walking down with barrettes in your hair, eating a pickle with a Jolly Rancher in it. Grow the French toast up, ladies. I mean, if you want a different outcome, and if you don't, knock yourself out. Becky, Marisol, Mylene, Anu, they would have no problem hollering at your men. They have no problem that you sitting around talking about, well, I'm supposed to do this. No. Becky will tell you ain't supposed to do nothing. You sit right there, and I'm going to go holler at Jamal. Hello, Monica, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Monica. So, Mookie, that's who she was. See, another part of this that bothers many women is they were sold education and income. And I said this then, your education, your degree, and your money does not make you more high value. Does not increase your market value as a woman. Not like you think it does. Not like you think it does. Unmute yourself. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. So I have a question for you. How do we change the narrative going forward? So we've been programmed to think that having fun, being educated is the way to go. I've been married for 13 years.
Okay.
But I have a
That's how you change the narrative.
I have sisters. So
are they married?
One of them is not. She's very educated. She's very successful.
Why is she not married?
Well, she's engaged, but she's not married. So her reason for not being married was always, I have to finish my boards. I have to finish this degree. I have to finish.
So you asked me the question, how you change the narrative? By getting married. Get married, if you want a different outcome, you got to raise the number, raise the percentages. You have to start telling, not necessarily early marriage, but just stop delaying it earlier. Start understanding that the men you're going to marry aren't necessarily going to be your age, depending upon the kind of lifestyle you want.
Okay.
Yeah, lastly, women have to start getting very curious about men, understanding who men are, what we want, and what we're willing to sign for. That in and of itself is what's missing, because what so many women today want to give men is what they have to sell and not what men are asking for.
This conversation starts off surprisingly reflective. She's 39, and instead of coming in defensive, she speaks openly about how some of the ideas she followed for years shaped her view of men, relationships, and independence. And now she believes some of those ideas led her in the wrong direction. She talks about constantly hearing messages that women don't need men, should prioritize absolute independence, and should avoid compromise at all costs. At the time, it sounded empowering, but over time, she says something started feeling missing. And Kevin immediately leans into that realization because he explains that modern conversations often confuse independence with isolation. Being capable on your own is valuable, but that doesn't automatically remove the human desire for companionship, support, intimacy, and partnership. And that's where the tension builds. She admits she spent years resisting traditional relationship dynamics because she believed needing a man somehow represented weakness. But now, approaching 40, she sees relationships differently and realizes she actually wants a husband and stable partnership. Then the conversation gets deeper. Kevin starts explaining how certain modern dating ideologies unintentionally encourage competition between men and women instead of cooperation. And when relationships become power struggles instead of partnerships, both sides often lose.
Okay. Shout out to my man Mental Groove for this video. It was very well done. Love the commentary. He definitely hit some things on the head. As we can see here, Kevin brought up a few great points that I think should be highlighted. One of the things that he talked about was maturity. As you can see, there was a few women that came on the show and they sounded like little girls. These were women in their 20s, some late 20s, some in their late 40s. And they sound like they're in high school, right? Sometimes as a man, when you're dealing with women, you expect for there to be some level of maturity. And you understand women are going to be women. There's different women in different places. Maturity doesn't mean rigid. It doesn't mean the person has to be dry. They can't have a personality. But it does mean that the person should act their age and not their shoe size. So what does that actually mean? Acting your age and not your shoe size. Well, that means that, you know, sometimes there's childish things that women will do that's really kind of beneath what an adult should do. And at some point, when you're dealing with someone, you have to get to the place where there's some sense that this person is mature enough to deal with the relationship. That's the very reason why a man wouldn't date a person who's too young, because of the mindset, right? And you had a couple examples where a couple young ladies called in and were kind of giggling, and it was just kind of like they weren't ready for the moment. You know what I mean? So any serious person who's got ambitions in life, who's trying to do things, is not trying to babysit and play babysitter to a woman who's more childish than she is grown, right? So that's one of the factors that potentially makes the relationship toxic. But also understanding that you have to be intentional. Kevin said something so key that I think is a gem of advice. And hopefully women hear it and heed to it. He said, you should understand what it is that the man you want wants from you. It's no different when you're going for a job. You reach out to different companies, you look on their job board, you look at specific positions that they have listed, and you look through what it's requiring from the candidate applying for the job. And it lists out all the things that that matters for this particular role. Then you check that against what you have to offer. If there's something on the requirement that you are not well developed in, a lot of people will go to school, they'll take classes so that they can get those skill sets, so they can update their resume, so they can match the requirement of what the job is asking for. Too often, a woman thinks she can show up to a relationship without understanding what the man expects of her and whether or not she's willing to fulfill that expectation. Yes, men want to have fun. We want to have sex. We want to laugh. But those are surface level things, right? Men want to be respected. Men want a supportive woman. Men want a woman who's, spiritually inclined, who carries herself a certain way. Men want a woman who holds herself in high regard, who carries herself like a lady. Men don't want 304s. Men don't want a woman who needs to be told how to dress. She should know that when you're dealing with a serious man, there's certain things you shouldn't put on your body to step out the house because it's going to attract a certain type of attention. And if you get emotional when the man says, that seems inappropriate, then that means you're not mindful of the type of man that you're with. You didn't do your research. You didn't understand the assignment. And therefore, you end up getting left behind. And that is a lot of times where things go wrong. Men want a woman who can take care of the home, who can cook and maintain a nice, clean home. Men want a woman who's going to keep her legs closed. She's not outside being a loose goose. Men don't want that. Men want a woman who's mindful of her body count. Not too many people can say they've been inside of her. You know what I'm saying? Men want that. They want a woman of integrity, right? Men want a woman who's reliable, who's not telling their pillow talk secrets to the next person. Men don't want a woman who's fascinated with being in a club and he's got to wonder where his woman is, right? These are like basic things. When you want to be taken serious by a man and your lifestyle's in conflict with what he wants, you're not the one. Or he'll tolerate it for a little bit, but he's not going to commit to that because then it's a power struggle between what you want and what he wants. If what you want doesn't align with what he wants, he's probably going to choose himself and go get what he wants elsewhere. This is what he talks about with maturity and doing the research around the type of man you have. If you're dealing with a man who's a high-profile person, that means their reputation matters. The optic matters. So if you're moving in a way that makes that man looks bad, it reflects on him. It messes up his reputation. The man don't want to have his reputation messed up when he's worked so hard to build his reputation to be something. So if you become a liability and not an asset to the man, you're not meeting his need. Man wants support, right? Man wants to have fun. He doesn't want his woman to be, his mother. He wants to be free. A man wants his freedom, right? But he wants to ensure that his woman is, secure in knowing that he chose her. These are things that men value. These are things that men want. And too often, women let that go over their head. See how I did that? Just let that go over their head. Throw a little personality there and just a little pinch. But no, just lightening up the convo. But, it's not meant to be a speechy TED talk. It's just some feedback. And then I think the Godfather was trying to get across to some of the women. Half the time, it's not that there's anything wrong with the older woman, or it's just minor tweaks that could be made that would change things. I'm sorry. A little parched. Anyhow, these are just gems. And then on the flip side too, a man has to do his research on the lady. You got to understand your woman. You got to understand what she likes, what she values. Is she the person that likes quality time, that needs reassurance, that needs words of affirmation? Is she a person that likes physical touch, that needs, gifts? Because some people, that's their love language. You got to understand who you're dealing with. The key is both people should be doing their research on each other to understand what each person is expecting from the other person. And when you do that and you're willing to serve the person in a way that they need to be served, there's a higher probability that the relationship will work out. But if you cut corners and you cheat the system, it's very likely that you won't get it. You won't get what you want. Or at least if you get it temporarily, it won't last for long. You won't keep what you want. So that's my thoughts on this particular topic. I thank you. It was a rather short video. We had a few other exchanges with other people, but I thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, it's a little late, but, I'm very appreciative of those who tune in. So I definitely thank you for tuning in and for hearing my opinion on this these clips. I also welcome you guys to like and subscribe and stay connected to the show. If you're not already connected, definitely stay connected. But also weigh in, leave your message, leave a comment in the message box, the comments box. You know what I mean? And just share your thoughts. Maybe I got something wrong. Maybe there's a perspective that can enlighten the whole group of viewers watching this. Feel free to share your thoughts. The purpose of the show is to edify, not to destroy anybody, but really to be constructive. And I hope that you guys take the meat and spit out the bones. If I said some things that has value, that's nourishing to you, please take that. If there were some things that I said that maybe didn't rub you the right way, forgive me. There's no malice in my heart. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to share. All right. That's it for me. Thanks again for joining me. And until we speak again, guys, I wish you the best. God bless.
You don't know what an AI work management platform is?